especially when it's something really tough that they're going through. I think it's important, especially to allow people to express themselves in truthful ways. So at least what their version of the truth is. So that's important to me. What I've seen that's not that great is like bashing Kwame in ways that I don't think is necessary. Like I know sometimes like when there's a dispute, like you automatically assume that the person who's in the dispute like hates the other person or is gonna commiserate in a way that's gonna, you know what I mean? Like,
what's up, everybody? Recapping another live from Elisabeth, aka Karrine Steffans. She gets into talking about her mental health, women's health, also the relationship with the presumed father, Kwame. She still doesn't confirm the relationship, what they had, if this was just a hookup situation, or whether or not they got together. But I find the conversation really interesting and the dynamics. She also talks about, I guess people are saying that he is in the closet, you know.
That's what she. I guess that's what people talking about. You know,
I don't know that for a fact. She talks about her past relationships, which I find really interesting because she's talked about being pregnant in the past and also having to make the decision on whether or not to get rid of the baby. Y'all know what I'm saying. Finish the rest of the live. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell. That's very important. All right.
He's that, like, I don't feel that way. So I see other people doing it, and it actually hurts my feelings a little bit because despite how this all went down, and it wasn't always bad. Like, there was a time a week ago when we were fine and talking openly about things and laughing and like having normal conversations and whatever. There was still some gamery happening there, but the communication was open and free. I don't dislike him. I don't not love him. I don't not, I don't, the truth is the truth, but like I still, it's not that I don't care for that person, it's not that I don't care for him, it's not that I don't love him, it's just that the actions weren't right, you know what I mean? And that's what got us here. I'm starting to sweat. Take my temperature, but I'm starting to get really hot. So I'm not like, I feel like if you're looking for me to like bash him, I'm not going to be able to do that. I think that he is, there's a reason why I love him. There are a lot of reasons why I love him and care about him as a person. But there are just also reasons why, so I don't know. I guess I'm just going to say, like, those of you who like leave comments on my stuff, like if you feel like you have to, like sometimes you feel like you have to like bash somebody because it's like when your girlfriend's in a dispute with her boyfriend or some dude or whatever, and you're like, yeah, girl, fuck him because he, his hairline pushed back anyway. Like I don't need you to do that. I don't need you to do that for me because I don't not love him. Like I do, and I miss him, and not seeing him for 3 weeks. I mean, I'm in New York. I'm usually with him. I'm usually at the restaurant. I'm usually talking to him. Like I'm usually, you know what I mean? So this is not easy for me to be able to say, hold on, this is some bullshit. I'm not like, it's hard for me. It took a lot for me to get to where I am. Because there is no love lost for me. But it just, what's right is right, what's wrong is wrong, but there's no love lost. So I'm just saying I don't need you to come on my page and talk about, well, he like, and then certain things don't matter to me. Like he wears nail polish. That doesn't fucking matter to me. Like, doesn't mean anything to me. I know a lot of guys that wear nail polish. Like we're not in an age where nail polish is just for girls. Like that's a girl thing. We're not there. I've seen people commenting on, his sexual proclivities or whatever you think is happening with him. That's nobody's business, and you don't fucking know. And maybe some of you guys don't. Some people do know. Maybe they know him personally. Maybe You know somebody who know, I don't know, but it's like I know some things. Like he knows some things. We're all adults. Like we have adults who are having sex or having the sex that they want to have, and we're not in an age where you get to bash people for the kind of sex they want to have, whatever that is, right? We're not there. So I'm seeing things like that, and that's kind of disturbing to me because I don't ever want to co-sign that. You know, I don't judge people based on whether they have on fucking nail polish or not. That shit is weird. It's just weird, and it's just antiquated, and it's fucking weird. I don't judge people based on how they have sex, who they have sex with, how much sex they have. We're not there. Like we're not, and that's not the age that we're in. I don't love anybody any less if they're gay, bisexual, fluid, whatever the fuck. Like none of that shit matters to me. So if I love someone, I love them for who they are, not despite who they are. If I love someone fully, and I love them in a way that makes them feel free. And I think that freedom is also what's important to me. That I remain free, and that person remains free to be who they are, but also free to be respectful of each other while we're being who we are. So I don't want to co-sign any of that because I don't give a fuck if a man wears nail polish and lipstick. I don't give a shit about any of that. Like I don't, so I don't shame people for shit like that. I don't shame people for, that's insane. So I'm not gonna be able to co-sign that. So you don't have to come to my page and feel like we're gonna bash, it's gonna be a bash Kwame session on those kind of things. I don't want to bash him in any way, but sometimes men do things you're like, what the fuck are you doing? But those like personal digs, I guess is what I'm saying. Like I'm not gonna co-sign personal digs with you. I think that we all have faults and flaws, and we all make mistakes, and we all fuck up, especially when we're young, and we do things we shouldn't do. We don't think things all the way through. We don't think about sometimes how what we do affects other people, and then how that person is going to react to what we've done. There are a lot of lessons here that have to be learned for everybody on all sides. But I definitely, I'm definitely not with the Kwame bashing. I don't want to do that. I'm not gonna co-sign that. All right, so it's so early in the morning. I'm gonna have to get up. I'm gonna call Joy, see where she is, and see if we can go grab some tea and a little bit of breakfast. Hopefully I can eat something today too. That would be great. My goal today is to, what time is it? I think my first thing is at 11. My goal today would be to eat a little bit, drink a little bit, and knock out my meetings and so on and so forth, and then fall into bed somewhere around 9 o'clock. Because I have to catch up on sleep. All right. I think I might have covered my bases today as much as I wanted to. Talking about doctors. Hold on, guys. Talking about the doctor. Make sure you guys advocate for yourself health-wise. Make sure that if your doctor makes you feel, make sure if your doctor makes you feel weird or unheard. Oh my God, having a doctor that doesn't listen to you is maddening. If your doctor says something that you don't like or doesn't feel right to you, make sure that you get second and third opinions. I'm going to always advocate from now on for Black female doctors, Black women doctors. I want everyone on my team to be a Black woman, for real, at this point. I really do. So make sure you guys advocate for yourself health-wise, especially women, with all the issues that we have, all your reproductive endocrinology situations. I'm glad that I covered that. So my skin is glowing. My skin is dry right now, but it's glowing, but it's dry. Isn't that weird how that happens? It just kind of comes from inside your body. It's just like, so make sure that you guys advocate for yourself. Always look for the Black women doctors when you can find them. Doesn't mean that woman's going to be a great doctor, but at least try. Because I think that for me, in my experience, it's way better. It's way better than having a man for me. Having a Black woman doctor, I think is important for me, for my body. Cover bases on stuff that women usually don't talk about a whole lot. So I'm glad I was able to talk to you about that today, and kind of explain why my situation is as precarious as it is. That it's not all because of personal things, but there are some physical things happening that make this time in my life very difficult. And I will do my best to kind of get through this. Oh, and again, I know everyone wants to say congratulations and like whatever. And I'm not saying a bunch of thank yous on that because I don't feel, I guess we don't talk about this either enough. I don't feel happy. It's not like, I don't feel that. It feels like, oh my God. And not being able to get the kind of support that I need when I need it has been really difficult, and that it just kind of adds to the physical stress. But this is not, it's not a thing where I felt like, oh my God, this is amazing. It is a thing I wanted to share though. It is a thing. It is a journey I wanted to go on this way. It was important for me to do this way this time, because I just remember how hopeless and alone and suicidal I felt last time, being in a situation where physically I was fine, but I was in it's a different kind of situation. Physically I was fine, but I was in an emotional state that caused me to break. And so I think for me it's like, let me not do that again. But yeah, there's the idea too that as soon like whenever someone tells me they're pregnant, I don't say congratulations right away, because a woman is not always excited about that, obviously, isn't always excited about that. And just because we're not excited about it also doesn't mean that we rush to the abortion clinic right away. God, there's so much to talk about. There's so many things that I don't know, like, do we ever like really talk about this? How like, just because you're not excited about it doesn't mean you want to just rush to the chop shop. Like, I saw so many comments like, just get an abortion. Like, just like, listen, abortion has saved my life several times. Absolutely. But there is such a thing as like, I don't know, like sometimes there's a lot to weigh. There's the emotional, like my last abortion caused so much emotional trauma that getting myself, like doing that again, I don't know if I'm gonna, I don't know if I'm gonna, I don't know if I would survive it emotionally. So like, abortion rights are really important because abortions have saved my life. Saved my life. They have sometimes saved me emotionally, and physically, saved my life. But they have also, some of them have also damaged me emotionally. Only one of them damaged me emotionally. Right? So like, we don't get to talk about that sometimes. I'm so glad, like for women who live in states where they can't have abortions, that breaks my heart. Because we need to be able to have the option open. But for some of us, it's not the thing. It's not the thing, right? Like, oh, I'm not that excited about this. Let me go. Sometimes it's not the first thing you think of. Sometimes it's not that easy. Hi. It's not that easy of a decision all the time. So, watching women just be like, just get an abortion. Like, that's so, like, really just, like, is there a drive-through for that? Like, how do I just do that? How do I just do that? And the trauma that it causes sometimes. Reproductive trauma is like a real thing. Talking to my therapist about that a lot, of course, lately, like just the reproductive trauma, being raped as a child, starting that for me, having that trauma from 13 on, having, other sexual situations that were traumatic in one way, shape, or form, having sex be tied to physical abuse, is traumatic. When, your partner beats you, then has sex with you, that's traumatic. There's just so much reproductive trauma that I think this is such a bigger conversation. And I wish my brain was all the way together this morning and I had some nutrition, but reproductive trauma is like a real thing. And it does affect the way our bodies work or don't work. And it affects our fibroids. And it affects, cysts. It affects this growths, that we have. And going through that reproductive trauma, and talking about it in therapy, specifically in these last couple of weeks, and kind of pulling out all the reproductive trauma I've had. Like having a husband have sex with me while I was asleep and drunk and not knowing about it. And then, I figured it out a couple days later, and then ending up pregnant from that. And it wasn't a husband I was with. It was a husband that I was leaving. We were together, but I was leaving. And then finding out 2 weeks later that you're pregnant. And then you're like, how did this happen? And then having to go through an abortion because your soon-to-be ex-husband had sex with you while you were drunk, passed out, sleeping. And a couple days later, I kind of figured it out a little bit. But I wasn't really sure. Like, shit like that. Having... Yeah. It's a lot. It's just a lot. So it's not always the first thing you run to do. It's not always the answer. It's not always the first answer. Sometimes you have to go through other things before you get to that answer. Sometimes you never get there. Being in an abusive marriage with somebody who beats you and then finding out you're pregnant. A lot of women go through that. And then you're just like, I can't have this baby with this person. Absolutely fucking not. It saves your life in a lot of different ways. It saves your life when your life is in danger, when you don't want to be stuck with somebody who is probably going to kill you. And if you have a child with that man is going to be attached to you for the rest of your fucking life. For the rest of your life, you're going to have to most likely deal with this person. And men use babies, oh my God, and men use babies to trap women all the time. Holy shit. Having a man while you're having sex with him and you don't know it so that he can trap you. They call it stealthing. Like when he flips you over, in that moment when you're flipping over, and they take the condom off, you don't know. And then you find out you're pregnant. There's so many things that go into like making decisions about this. Not just for me, I'm just talking about women in general. You know what I mean? Like what can happen? Like some of the things. I mean, I have had some of those stories of mine. Like the husband sleeping with me when I was, the husband who beat me. I've had several husbands. The husband who beat me. The husband who had sex with me while I was sleeping. Like I've been stealthed before. That has happened to me before. Just thinking about that shit now, how angry that shit made me. So like when men tell women what to do with their bodies, it really upsets me. Because men don't have any of these issues. Like you don't have to think about any of this shit. And not just think about it like once in your life. Like, oh, get your prostate checked after you're 40, right? It's like, no, get your vagina checked at least once a year, sometimes twice, more if you have other issues. Get your insides checked, get your ovaries checked, get your tubes checked, get your uterus checked, check on those fibroids. Is that a cyst? We're gonna have to take that out. Like there's all these things that are happening inside our bodies, and then men make these decisions where they order us to do things with our bodies. Like, we're gonna order you to do this. You better do this with your body, with your pregnancy, with your whatever. Like, we need access to you. We need access to your body. We need access to your information. We need access. That shit makes me so livid. Because living in these bodies in itself is a trauma. There's so much trauma just in, or potential trauma, just living in a body like this. You know, get tested for breast cancer, get tested for this cancer, and then that cancer. And then, oh, this one ovary is overactive, so that ovary probably is going to have a cyst on it, and we got to go in and take this cyst out. And, oh, well, now we're going to have to take your whole fucking tube out. Oh, you're pregnant? Oh, get great news. Yeah, except when you find out it's ectopic. It's in your tubes. You're going to lose your tube. There's so many things. And it's like a monthly thing where every month you're worrying about your body. Where's my period? Is it late? Why is it late? Is it late because I'm pregnant? Or is it late because I have cancer? Is it late because I have PCOS? Is it late because every single fucking month? Why are there clots? Is it pink? Is it brown? Is it red? Is it a lot? Is it too much? Is it not enough? Like every month there's like this. I think I'm just dealing with so much fucking reproductive trauma right now. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. So the reproductive trauma, not just of the past, but the current reproductive trauma that I'm going through, just with my body not making what it's supposed to make. And then on top of that, losing my appetite completely, losing 10 pounds in 2 weeks. I'm like wasting away at a time where I should be flourishing. That's been very difficult. And then you add all the emotional stress and all the, whatever. It's just been a lot. And that's the journey.